question. You're wondering, like, what is this crazy man about to ask? Hey, sometimes the best thing to do is to ask first instead of having to give forgiveness or permission. It's better to get permission than forgiveness, and it's better to get permission, or at least to get some survey results before you place yourself possibly in the way of great harm. Oh mercy. Don't worry, y'all. Both hands safely on the wheel, eyeballs looking forward, and hey, better be glad I'm not looking at you. You might see how ugly I really am. Say, George, get to the point. Thank you. One hand on the shifter, the other hand on the wheel. Here's my little surmising and my question that you can help me answer whether I should or shouldn't do this. I made a little video just a little bit ago, and if you live in my area, I happen to live in the Knoxville, Tennessee area, but I think this is probably true in most areas. Eons ago, it seems now, I've been there 26 years, our local newspaper came out with the idea that they would publish a list of the best businesses in our area. And what seemed like a great idea, which truthfully I think was also, they even, as good journalism does, they even told it like it was and said who are the worst businesses in each industry in our area. And it didn't take long. I had to guess those things called lawyers. Well, they probably put a stop to that, because once that got published, perhaps some of the ones who barked the loudest are the ones that got hit. And truth is one of those things you don't have to defend, you just have to turn it loose. So they obviously nowadays you see many of business who will remain innocent. Some well-meaning, some not. Many businesses in all industries in our area, when that list comes out each year, Knoxville's best, and then just fill in the blank, painter, furniture salesman, place to buy appliances, whatever, the crowd votes, and the can go on and vote for those, and then you're supposed to know, according to that report, who truly is the best. Now, the only problem with that and its accuracy is that many of these larger companies heavily motivate and encourage their employees and or friends and family members very similarly to how they manipulate Google 5-star reviews. They encourage all their employees to go vote for our company. Okay, that's a little weird. I mean, shouldn't it be local customers voting up or down as to who is the best? And well, some of the, no doubt many, perhaps many, no doubt some of the time that is true. Sometimes it isn't. And I know that firsthand. I've had opportunity to work in some of, if not the best companies. And I don't say that because they're mine, and I certainly don't say it because I work there, but I had opportunity to work in one of, if not the very best plumbing company in the area. I certainly, same thing in the appliance industry. I worked at the very premier, and again, a privilege, great opportunity to work at the premier place to buy appliances in our entire area. And I've seen firsthand at other companies and spoken to folks that they strongly I hesitate to use the word manipulate, strongly encourage not just their patrons, which I get that, that's totally cool. Hey, vote for us. That's just like the politicians encourage folks to vote for them, get out the vote. They want to win that title of Knoxville's best. This is not a rant about that, but just because it comes out in the paper, Knoxville's best, don't mean it's so. Because you might be looking at an election, if you would, that was a bit rigged, a bit artificially inflated one way or another for a local business. But again, the bit of backstory on Knoxville's Best, again, I may have covered it just a moment ago. Old man itis, you forget what you said. Tell the truth, you don't have to worry about what you said. When they first launched that Knoxville's Best, you could also, again, like I said, see the list of Knoxville's Worst. And similar to a website that you may or may not be familiar with, that is absolutely, you want to look at a most hated website. Oh my goodness. By not upright, honest, forthright businesses, but by unscrupulous business owners or businesses. You need not look far but to look at this one particular website. And you know what I'll do? I did mention it on another broadcast. I'll hold off on even promoting that because less people think I have some interest. But I know of a website where you can go to and you can find explicit, honest, upright, candid reviews from local customers when they got ripped off. And what makes this website unusual, I mean, obviously you have places like Google reviews, you've got Yelp, you've got Bird's Eye, you've got a bazillion, if that's, I think, Bird Eye or something like that. There's a lot of places where you can find local reviews. Look at that. Okay. That's funny. I'm looking at it, I'm smiling. And somebody just told me cramps. Look, man, no hair. But what you can't find, I'm just laughing at some of your comments, man. I'm laughing with you, not at you, but there's a fine line between the two. You can't find a list of Knoxville's Worst. This particular website, hey, if you reach out to me personally, I can let you know what it is, but I got no interest in promoting them. But they will not remove, why it's so hated is that when customers go on there and share awful experiences they have locally or otherwise, similar to the Better Business Bureau, when people post on there and then a business has to respond, this particular company will not delete those reviews. And they've been sued. The owner of that particular this very well-known website has had people try to find his house, find his location, because disgruntled customers, which if you take care of your customers, that's not an issue. Now you may have the occasional disgruntled customer that goes rogue, or sometimes a competitor unscrupulously posting reviews. But because this man who runs this website will not remove reviews, yeah, he's hated. But you know what? He's the friend of the consumer and not the dishonest businessman or businessman. So here's my question. Those things called lawyers that prevent you, and except for this one gentleman who's got you really from you can go on now Google. Let's face it, Google does give you a platform to leave reviews for local businesses, and those are very difficult to come down. Sometimes there are businesses that are so dishonest, so deceitful, they can either bury those reviews that you may put on there with an onslaught of fake reviews. I know of companies right now that do that, and that have done that, generating fake reviews either from friends, family members, and other, violating Google's terms of services. Or they can even get those reviews taken down by manipulating Google's. They're doing their best to manipulate Google and getting them to take reviews down that really should be left up. But my question is this: if I could put, because I'm not going to face the onslaught that this gentleman has went by creating a website like that, but if I could put in my industry, which I won't even mention what that is, but in my industry, if I could put in your hand, not what I think, yes, I mean, I've had opportunity to help maybe over 100-something people in the last 13 months be able to purchase the product that we help provide. But I have talked to others in the industry I work in that know our local area. They have been 25, 31 gentlemen, 40 years in our area. And when I asked them this one question, what's the one place you would never purchase from? And when I go and I ask different men, different individuals that one question, not in a group setting, and when they all tell me this one right here, this is the worst place to purchase from. If I could put, say, the top 2, top 3 worst places that you could ever shop for what we sell, if I could put that in print and put that in your hand to help you avoid, whether you purchased from us or not, would that help you to avoid, let's face it, the biggest landmine sometimes in business, whether you're hiring a painter, an electrician, a plumber, purchasing a car, hiring an attorney, considering who to go to for a doctor. The biggest problem in local business is not necessarily the product, the good, if you would, great service, but sometimes it's the business owner and or the employees that they've hired who serve you. Or let's face it, sometimes it's you are the product, you're the ones. That's another story. But if I could put that in your hand, how valuable would that be? And again, you're like, Jordan, I don't even know what you do. But again, that's not the point. I'm thinking that could be the most valuable thing. One of the most valuable things is sometimes it's not, you get people, hey, where should I get this? Where should I get that? That's very valuable information. You can go to a local Facebook group. I love Halls, I love Powell, I love whatever in your area. Just, I love, whatever the large Facebook group is, and you can post in there and say, hey, who's a good painter? And you'll get 10, 15, 20 guys self-promoting. You'll get some of their employees, similar to that ballot box stuffing that happens in our area when they vote for Knoxville's best. You'll get a lot of people self-promoting, and you'll get a lot, oftentimes, in all fairness, you'll get a lot of individuals saying, man, I always use this person, I always use this person. And that's a pretty good way to find out who the best painter, electrician, plumber, car salesman, whatever, best place to live. It's a good place to crowdsource where the good stuff is. But you probably could never get even a group to let you post like, what's the worst place to eat in Knoxville? Or what's the worst place to have paint your house? If they would even let it post, it wouldn't take long. Somebody's attorney would contact somebody, or Facebook or whatever, it'd be classified as hate speech or criminal intent. But you know what? True story, and I'm out. We had an opportunity to work in the plumbing world here locally in our area. And I was talking with customers on a regular basis. And again, I wasn't so naive or stupid, strong word, to think we were the only good plumbing company in the area. Now, truth be known, looking at the reviews, I would stand firmly then and now, even though I'm not no longer serving there, that was one of, if not the very best plumbing companies in our area. But you know what? When customers would call in and they say, hey, I'm looking at you and this other company. And when I heard the name of the other company, I knew right away that if they hired them, the odds were were highly likely they were going to be overcharged, ripped off. That if they just knew how to look at the Google reviews, they would know that particular company customers had said that literally while their van was in front of their house, the employee was selling drugs out the back of the plumbing van. That was on Google. But some folks, they barely know how to pick up the phone. Elderly folks especially, no disrespect, but they didn't know how to research Google. They didn't know where to go. They didn't know about asking for references. They just didn't know really. They just trusted, maybe a billboard, we're the best in Knoxville, or some platitude written on their website, we're the most trusted plumbing company in the area. But they didn't know. And I would literally say, look, I know this is going to sound self-serving, but you need to really look at the reviews, because the other company you're looking at has real challenges when it comes to honesty, integrity, safety, quality. But you know what? It wasn't long. I was even that was dangerous, if you would, because that can will be used against you either in a court of law or in an HR interview. Now that didn't happen, but it could, and you feel a little handcuffed because you can't sometimes warn people adequately online in mass. But you know, if you had a special report for your area, no matter what the industry was, for your industry or whatever it was, that these, you know, anybody can. Here's how to find the best in this particular industry, and here are the worst. As of the printing of this material, here are the 3 worst offenders. These are the Knoxville's most wanted, worst companies that you should avoid. If it was restaurants and people have known to have been poisoned and died there, wouldn't you want to know? If these were doctors that had lost patients due to malpractice, wouldn't you want to know before you took your family member there? So I just wonder if that printable report of the top 3 worst businesses in an industry locally would be helpful. Let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts. Take care. Thanks for jumping on here. I don't know if I've ever had this many people jump on here. I've always seen some of the funny comments here. I typically don't read them while I'm going live. Have a fantastic new year. And should I do it? Should I not? Do you want to know who Knoxville's worst are? Or you just want to roll the dice? Let me know in the comments.